Good afternoon. I'm Davis Neal, and this is my PowerPoint presentation on professional engagement in the sport industry. The goal of my presentation will be to provide valuable information regarding all things volunteering and how to best position an organization so that I can have as many volunteers as possible. The target audience for my presentation will be my hometown lacrosse club, the Orangeville Northmen Junior A lacrosse organization. With that being said, many of the recommendations in my presentation are universal and can benefit a large majority of sport organizations. This chart shows the relationship between genders in regards to all volunteers, not only those in the sport industry. I inserted this chart to show just how evenly split both genders are. As we move on to our next slide, I've inserted another chart. This one showing the relationship between genders in regards to sport-specific volunteers. Again, both male and female are fairly evenly split, with males contributing slightly more volunteers. These charts are beneficial for the Orangeville Northmen because it shows the organization that both males and females are actively involved in volunteering in the sport industry, and that the split of the two is fairly even. This next chart depicts the relationship between the number of hours worked in a month by those who met a friend while volunteering and those who did not. As you can see, the simple fact of whether or not volunteers meet a friend plays a large role in the amount of hours people volunteer over the course of a month. How can the Orangeville Northmen use this information to gain more volunteers? My recommendation for the organization is to incorporate group work or group-based activities among the volunteers into their tasks. In other words, the organization needs to put volunteers into a position where they can meet one another, but also where they can develop relationships. The bottom line is that if people are enjoying what they are doing, they are more inclined to return. In this chart, the relationship between sport volunteers from the ages of 15 to 24 and from 55 to 64 is expressed. The chart shows that twice the amount of people aged 15 to 24 are volunteering within the sport industry than those between the ages of 55 to 64. For the Orangeville Northmen to attract more volunteers, my recommendation is to target a younger age demographic. An example of how to do this could be to host a Bring Your Kid to Volunteer Day, where those who are already volunteering can bring their children to see what the volunteering is all about. Prizes or giveaways could also be included to increase attendance. This opens the door to more people of a desired age demographic, which is beneficial for the Orangeville Northmen to attract more volunteers. In conclusion, for the Orangeville Northmen Junior A Lacrosse Association to increase their volunteers, they must target a younger age group as well as encourage group work to ignite relationships among volunteers. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope, along with my recommendations, come a success.